So, hi everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of In Conversation With. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and in this video series we talk about all things cloud with experts and advocates across the industry, covering a vast array of topics from skills and careers through to technical how-to videos and personal thoughts and opinions on specific topic areas. So, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter or LinkedIn, thanks so much for tuning in. It's really appreciated. Please do take part in the chat. Do like, subscribe to the channels, drop us a comment. It really is appreciated. It would be most welcome. So we know as a young person coming into this tech industry, it can be a potentially daunting and overwhelming experience for many reasons, and none more so than arguably the technology industry with its fast pace of change, its ongoing conveyor belt of learning experiences. So, but did you also know that there is a tech community full of amazing and incredible people, you're ready to help direct and inspire others to realize their own futures in this industry. So my next guest is absolutely one of those people. She's a software developer at InfoQuest based out in Greece. She's a gold Microsoft Learn student ambassador and an amazing Women in Tech ambassador, and has focused some of her attention over to the fascinating world of Internet of Things and robotics. So I'm privileged and excited to welcome my next guest on In Conversation With, the brilliant Maria-Anastasia Moustaka. Hello, Maria-Anastasia. How are you doing?
Hello, I am fine, thank you.
No. Thanks so much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure. I know we've been chatting a little bit over social media the last few months, and I've seen some of the fab projects and things you've been getting up to across the community. So you were on my favorite show, which was the IoT live show with Pete and Cliff the other night as well. So I was very jealous that I wasn't able to watch that one live, but it's a huge privilege. Thanks so much for joining me, giving up your time to come over and have a chat with me on my little YouTube show. It's really appreciated. So look, there's loads for us. I think we've already kind of lined up a few little topic areas. So we're going to talk about some of the great and cool and inspiring things that you're up to at the moment. But I guess before we jump in, do you just want to say hello, give yourself a little bit of an introduction, and let us know a little bit about Maria-Anastasia? That'd be cool.
Of course. As I like to say, I am a passionate with AIoT and robotics computer engineer. Currently, I am trying to finish my school. I study computer engineering and informatics at the University of Patras here in Greece. I have only my diploma thesis left to finish it, which is also in the field of the IoT. I also started working 2 weeks ago. I work remotely for a Greek technology company, as you said before, as a software developer. And in my free time, I teach robotics to children for the last 4 years.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Maria-Anastasia, go on.
No, I really love kids and robotics. So this together, it's a great experience for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've seen some of the posts that you've put up across social media. They've been brilliant, and very close to the heart of IoT and robotics. I love that area, and look, we'll get to that. I think we'll get to that point in a little while. So, firstly, huge congratulations on the new job. That's great news. So you've still got a little bit more of your college, your university work to finish off at the moment, but you've got your first job. I mean, congrats, huge congrats.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Yeah, how did that come to be? How did you find that? And what was the process like for you, Maria-Anastasia?
Excuse me. I'm a little anxious. It's the first time I give a an interview in English.
And it's with look, I'm privileged, and it's with me. But no need to be anxious at all with this. But yeah, you carry on in your own time, of course.
Mhm. I have done an internship last year, and it was about AIoT. But this year I gave so many talks about AIoT due to quarantine, and because universities was closed. And so one person from my current job watched me and sent me an email and told me that I was good in this presentation, and if I wanted to give an interview. So after a couple of interviews, they called me and told me if I want to accept this job, and it was in a very good timing because it was in the day that I flowed from my study home to my current home. So I was so anxious about the future and if I could find a job because I live in Rhodes. And Rhodes is a very beautiful island, but it's very touristy. And
Okay.
I was anxious because here there aren't many jobs for IT and developers.
Hmm.
So it was a great opportunity. And when I told them that I was moving to another home, and if I could work remotely, they accepted this offer, and I feel so thankful for that. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's just great. Firstly, it's great to be able to speak to people. You're on a different, well, in a different country, different part of the world. There's certain experiences you've had that I haven't had, and vice versa. So I love speaking to people from all different places across the globe and understanding the challenges that sometimes people in different positions just we take for granted. But even that thing, like you say, you live in Rhodes, a small island, very touristy. Some of the opportunities to kind of work in a career that you're so passionate about, and you've had it land in front of you there, and huge congratulations, because I think especially the whole working from home thing, because I think that's going to be a strange situation. I think maybe now over the coming months for everybody, I guess. Understanding, do we need to go into an office? Can we work from home? So, yeah, huge congratulations. It sounds really exciting. So, do you know yet what you're going to be working on? Have you got any ideas of the kind of projects that you're going to be working on? Or if you can't say, no problem. But that's cool to understand.
Um, to be basically, I am in the learning period, so I don't know what exactly I will do in the future. But now I learn about C Sharp, Azure functions. So we will I will work uh, very much with Azure and the cloud computing. Um, and we know that we build solutions for other companies, but yeah, I don't know exactly in what project I will work lately. Mhm.
No, but that's cool. I mean, it's just moved. You're in an area that I know you're passionate about because I've seen what you've been up to the last few months now. So it's just it's brilliant when that hard work and determination comes to the point where you land yourself in the position with being able to do work with the technologies that you're so passionate about. It's just great to see. So, I mean, on that note, I know. I've seen on your profile, and I've seen some of the postings that you've done around the whole Microsoft Learn student ambassador program that's going on. I mean, I've seen this come up quite a number of times, and I've spoken to other student Learn ambassadors. Those people that go around there with the kind of students, if you like, and kind of do that advocacy in terms like that. But I don't know a lot about the program. I mean, do you want to talk us through that? I mean, what is it? How did you manage to get into it? What it's all about, and what it means to you, maybe, to be part of that?
Mm-hmm. I will solve all of your questions. Firstly, for those who don't know what the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors are, MLSA community is the Microsoft's student community, and its members aim to get acquainted with the Microsoft technologies such as Azure, Power Platform, Office 365, etc. Now, the purpose of the members, beyond to receive this knowledge, is the transmission of this knowledge, both to ambassadors and to their fellow students at the universities. I have to tell that it's a fantastic team because each member gains knowledge, experiences, and socialize in the field of technology. And maybe I can tell to you and to the audience how will can apply to the program.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because I receive many often messages which ask me how it's the process. Okay. So you can search in your browser Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors, and you will find the official site at the first result. And there you will find on the first page, as soon as you enter, a large button that says apply now. So then if you click on it, will open a form, and you have to answer this form in writing, but one of the questions must be answered in a video format. Okay. So my advice to all the students who like to join our team is thinking about why he or she really wants to join this group, what is your passion, and it's very good to impress them with your answers. But when I was entered this team, it's a little different back then. Because I joined this group in 2016 when I was in my second year of my studies. At that time, this group was called MSP, Microsoft Student Partners. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know if you heard back then the program.
Yeah, no, I do remember that program. Yeah, I remember it was one of those things you see all the I'm a middle-aged white man of a certain age, and I feel very old now. It's ridiculous how fast it creeps up on you. But yes, I remember seeing these programs over the years with Microsoft, and they do some fantastic things for apprenticeships, for students, for learning. It's just great to see. So yeah, you carry on, Maria-Anastasia. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. Um, so when I was a freshman, I used to watch this group give lectures to learn new things about technology because this was and this is my passion. I had missed almost no presentation, and the truth is that I really wanted to be member of this group because in general I like to transmit knowledge.
Hmm.
Because I was a very frequent spectator, one day a member of this team asked me if I wanted to become a member of this team too. And of course, I answered yes.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so he explained me what I have to do to get in then. The very positive thing was that all the guys on this team were very, very good, and we had a great time when we was in university and gave talks. And I will tell you now something that I have never said in the public, and only my family knows. Before the rebranding of MSPs, there was a slight downward trend in the wider team here in Greece, at least. I don't know
Okay.
in the other
Hmm.
countries. And for this reason, I think that the rebranding was done to renew the team, to do new things, more interesting. So I had a very heavy schedule back then. I had my school. I was into robotics groups. I went dancing, and
Yeah.
I also had the MSP community.
Hmm.
And so I was thinking of leaving this group because I kind of felt like I had a lot of in my mind.
Sure.
But yeah, but because my fellow members in the team in Patras were so good, I didn't feel like leaving because I felt very close to them and I didn't want to deprive them of my help.
Hmm. Yeah.
So after a while, the rebranding takes place, and the team really took a new format, and now we do so many things there. And thank God I didn't leave this team back then. Now they give us trainings, we do summits, we meet other students from other countries, and we talk and collaborate in teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, there are also some leagues depending on everyone's interest. So we can work with anyone who has a common interest with us in the technology field.
Hmm. Yeah.
And moreover, then when COVID-19 came, and all of these quarantines, we were so upset because we couldn't do which of our lectures at the university. But in fact, now we give these lectures worldwide, and beyond that, we give presentations in other countries. For example, I have spoken to students in Pakistan,
Wow. Yeah.
and we're invited by groups, by meetups. and by conferences, and we now feel that people like what we do, and it's very positive for our community.
Yeah. So is the group, Maria-Anastasia, is the group predominantly aimed at the student sort of delegate, the student population? So is it meant there to kind of help and aid people coming out of university? What's your kind of membership base? What does that look like? Or is it open to anyone? How does that work?
No, it's only for students.
Sure.
To be someone member, he or she has to be a student at university or some school, some college. Uh, but in our audience, there is students. There are just people. It's open for everyone who wants to watch us.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, we'll grab the link. We'll put it in the description below. So anybody that wants to learn some more about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program, so you can apply to become an ambassador, or I presume you can find links and resources to events and groups that are in local vicinity of where you live around the world. Is that the kind of thing that we can expect to find in there, Maria-Anastasia? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I mean, it's a great story. I mean, that whole concept of, I found it myself personally with giving a little bit back to the community, where you turn your attention to that community. And I've spoken with so many guests before about, what does it mean to give back? And it is a little bit, I find it profound in the sense that, you think that you want to do something just for to learn about things for yourself. Clearly that's a motivation to do these kinds of things, but how do you find that, Maria-Anastasia, when you're part of this, I'm presuming, is learning technologies, things for yourself, but how does that make you feel to be able to give back to a community like that? What does it do for you?
First of all, when I was a kid, I was wanted to be a teacher. In my life, I always want to give people something, knowledge. I don't know. So it's very. I'm very happy when I teach someone something.
Yeah.
So I love technology, and when I was at high school, I realized that I love so much technology to that I wanted to study technology to be my future job. My dad loved technology so much, so maybe he passes this love.
The passion for the technology. Yeah, you've got you've bitten the bug.
Yeah. And when I was at my university and found out this team, I told to myself that this team is for you, because I really love sharing things. And during quarantine, I found all of this Twitter world, and how the community is so close one to each other there, and it's amazing.
It's good fun. It's good fun. There's a lot of really cool people out there, all willing to help you, aren't there? So I mean, yeah, I've certainly found that as well. So I mean, it's cool to see that you found it as well. Being, it's just brilliant that, like I said at the start of the video, people from so many different walks of life are able to kind of exchange ideas and thoughts and ways of working and share the knowledge like you're doing, Maria-Anastasia. So yeah, I mean, it's a great fun community to be part of. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It, I think it's the best.
Yeah,
And
no, absolutely. Yeah.
so many kind people. It's so kind, so
But yeah,
kind.
but I think at the same time, it's not that individuals. The way I see things with the community, and certainly the technical community, is that when individuals come into the community and start either asking questions or asking for advice or help, that's one thing. And of course, you will find so many brilliant people always willing to help. But as somebody coming into a community like that with any kind of experience, whether that's from a learning experience or something that you've worked at for years, just sharing that viewpoint and that experience with the wider community, I think is what gets you. It puts you into that zone of actually people start turning to you because you're actively trying to share that knowledge out with others. So I mean, look, we'll touch on it now, I think. But certainly some of the posts I've seen you work on, you mentioned that on weekends in your spare time you teach robotics, and obviously to kids, which is a fantastic thing, and certainly is very close to my heart because I believe those kinds of learnings are super powerful for kids to understand at a young age. So tell us a little bit about that. What are you up to in that area, and what kind of things do you go into with the kids that you're teaching?
First of all, I joined at first a voluntarily team with kids that has the age of 10, I think 10 years old. So we firstly start with all these Lego kits. Um, I don't know if you know these robotic kits. It's we do two EV3.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm. And then we also played with Scratch, and because I really love programming, I think that the kids loved programming too.
So
Um,
Scratch is that visual block based where you drag and drop the blocks together to create your program, isn't it? Is that the one? Is that Scratch?
yes, it's a website called Scratch as well, and there you can make if you saw my one tweet with um, Among Us game.
I know Among Us. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this has made with Scratch. So
Okay, yeah.
you can make whatever you want, games, exercises. You have only you need to have a large fantasy,
Yeah.
and and
I always say that when I speak about certainly IoT solutions. I always find it's more about having the capacity and the idea and the creative idea, and then translate that down into, you look at from a child's point of view, and using that visual, that scratch configuration to program is such a powerful way of teaching kids programming concepts. But yeah, you're right. It's just having those creative ideas is probably the most difficult part. Would you agree?
Yes, of course. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But the kids has so many great ideas that
Yeah.
yeah.
I can imagine that some of them are probably a bit off the wall and abstract. But no, I mean, look, it's just fantastic to hear that, and it's a volunteer program again. You've taken the initiative to step into that world and help, youngsters take on some of these fantastic skills, which, like I say, which is what drew me to what you were doing in the community, because you can see it shines through so clearly that, your ability and your desire and your want to help others learn, it doesn't go unnoticed. I think it's fair to say, certainly when you do these kinds of things in community, it's so well received, and it is great. And it's, this is why I was, really excited to have you on the show, because it gives me a chance to kind of say, brilliant work, well done, it's great, it's really well received, and it's, it's great to see. And it kind of leads into this other area which you're a huge advocate of, and again, it's something very close to my own heart. I've got two young daughters who sadly they don't follow my desire and passion of technology. They're very sporty and very musical, so I mean, they don't follow the technical, which is brilliant. I'm fully supportive of that as well, of course. But women in tech, it's such a certainly for me, it sometimes it can be a difficult thing, for somebody that's a middle-aged white man to talk about. But I'm a huge advocate of, certainly from, like I say, for my own personal reasons, with having two young daughters, absolutely all about making sure that things of, equal and fairness across the board are going, and where people need that leg up to overcome, years of challenge, however you want to frame it. In the industry, technology is still a hugely male-dominated industry. So, I mean, talk to me a little bit about your experience, Maria-Anastasia. How does it appear from your perspective? And, maybe, people like me, others like me watching this video, what should we be doing? And more importantly, probably what shouldn't we be doing, to kind of, what's your views on that?
The truth is, it's a bit difficult to be a woman who deals with technology, because, as you said, we're very few among so many men. Personally, because I grew up with an older brother, and my parents' friends always had boys, I used to be in an environment with a lot of boys, but many girls are not used to it. That is one reason that we want more women in the field of technology, and because we have a different perspective from men, we're also needed in a team. I believe it with all of my heart. These. And through my route on social media, my blog, and my speeches, I truly like to help other women get involved with technology. And sometimes I understand that maybe men like technology more. More men basically like technology than the most of women, and maybe women like other types of professions. I don't know, but I do not want some girls who want to get involved with technology not to do so because they do not know they want to. And I know that more boys have the opportunity to learn about technology from some activities they do when they was kids. So I want girls to have this opportunity too, the opportunity to get in touch with technology, and then they will think they if they like technology or not.
Yeah.
Uh, mhm. If they do not like it, of course, we will not force anyone to do something they do not like, neither girl nor boys.
Yeah.
Um, Also, some girls know that they like technology and do not deal with it because they are afraid and because society shows that they are not suitable for these positions, which is it's totally wrong and false. uh, as I had such an experience to share with you, first of all, I have to tell that fortunately, I came from a family that has always helped us, me and my brother, to spread our wings
Yeah.
and to do what we dream of. So I grew up in an environment that had taught me that whatever I wanted, I'm able to do it. But once at was at the school, a computer teacher, when I told him I wanted to study computer science, replied me like, you are a girl. Are you going to carry computers and something like that?
Oh, okay.
Yes, and at least um, at least I am from a family, as I said before, that is very supportive, and I knew it that I could become whatever I want. But if a girl wasn't from a family like mine, she may has discouraged with this comment by his teacher and did not deal with technology at all. So that's why I want to help girls with technology, because I understand that we are one step behind the boys, not in terms of intelligence or abilities, but in terms of the opportunities we have when we all was kids.
Yeah.
So let me now address the audience a little to say that if you hear that some technology seminars are being held only for women, do not consider it racist for men, because I had I had listened this comment from some of friends of mine that it's a little racist now for men that some seminars is only for women, but we just want to um, we just want this one step back, which is women, to eliminate it and to get with the same point as boys.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that completely, and I think it is sometimes like I said earlier, it is sometimes difficult. I find it personally difficult to comment on certain areas, not through anything negative. I always feel that I've got something positive to offer, and I will always do my best to support anything that is of a positive intent. It's that simple. But I think, yeah, I think I've certainly personally learnt a lot over the last few years. Certainly scenarios where members of the opposite sex have been, in some instances, such horrific, ridiculous situations that they shouldn't be in. And clearly to people like me, it's not that I find it shameful, but the fact that I didn't even realise, certain scenarios, and some of it can be quite deep and quite heavy, and at the end of the day, I think it's very important that everything you've just described there in terms of how do we raise each other up, how do we stop with any negative comments, inappropriate comments, or anything that doesn't do anything other than give a positive view, and I think that's certainly, that would be my call to men in the industry, people of my own generation, people that may not be giving this a thought, is that, together we can all, it's such, I find, certainly since becoming more public facing and doing community efforts and work, it's such a fun, a rewarding, an enjoyable, area. Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, that is, clearly there's work to do. Is from my point of view, but it's something that I will do personally, whatever I can to kind of help support and push forward. But clearly I've got learnings to do of my own, as I'm sure there are lots of other people across the tech world, that how do we answer and help and facilitate some of these quite rightly so, important points to have those different, like you said earlier, those different viewpoints from from different parts of the world, different generations, different sexes. It's about that, simply being inclusive, empathetic, assume positive intent at every opportunity, but more importantly, encourage and help and be that leg up for people who may not have that fortune to be in that position just because they're a man or a woman, or of a certain race or certain whatever it may be. So I mean, it like I said earlier, it sometimes can be a difficult area to talk about. Certainly there's polarizing views. I think I've certainly come across those myself, and sometimes I find you have to say it as it is sometimes, whether that's from a male perspective or a female perspective. But the only thing I would suggest for people watching this now is, please always assume positive intent and always mean that positive, uplifting part of it. But Maria-Anastasia, I mean, it's fantastic to see that you're doing such brilliant stuff in the community, and obviously where you're going. We haven't yet touched on IoT. It's an area of tech very close to my heart. You were on the IoT live show only a few nights ago. Well, I mean, when this video goes out, it'll be a few weeks ago, but we won't worry about that. But how did you find that? Pete and Cliff, they're brilliant sort of ambassadors of the IoT world as well. What's going on in that area for you? How are you finding that world of IoT?
I will tell you that I always fascinated by the field of robotics and generally the intelligent systems and automations that are all around us. But especially when I was in my first year of my studies, I saw that there was a robotics team at my university, which was very active and went to worldwide competitions. So I thought that at some point it would be a good opportunity for me to join the team. So in the second year of my studies, I saw that there was an event of this team. So I went to this event and was informed that to join this club, you needed some knowledge from Arduino and C programming, for example, because there was a lot of competition to get into the team. So then I thought of buying an electronics kit and to learn myself first. The truth is that I am a bit of perfectionist, so I didn't seem like a good idea to apply without knowing anything from Arduino, and electronics. So that year I started making project on my own, with Arduino, basically also ESP32 and some other boards and sensors. So In the third year, I declared my participation and finally joined the team.
Yeah.
And the truth is that as soon as I entered that team, I was included in the competition team because I had enough knowledge for the preparation I had done. There we took part in two competitions as I was in the group. One was in England, the BCU Tech Fest competition,
Okay. Yeah.
and in Birmingham, where we won first place in some
Wow.
categories.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
and the other was in Estonia at Robotics, where I also won by team representatives, and it was a unique experience because we met other people in this area of electronics and IoT. We
Sure.
saw other robots, bigger, smaller than ours, more
Hmm.
difficult and easier to make. And we had a distinction there as well, as we came out third, and it was a fantastic experience. And also in the same year, a professor from the robotics team started the volunteering robotics team that I told you previously.
Yeah.
Um, And another point I have to mention in my short journey in the field of IoT is when last year in quarantine we had to transfer the events we did with Learn Ambassadors from events with a physical presence to online events.
Hmm.
And then I did an IoT event and I saw that people like it, and more people started asking me to give some talk about IoT. So while I have been giving presentations since 2016, this year I really felt like a speaker because I had speeches almost every month.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes,
Brilliant.
so these lectures also helped me to develop in IoT because in order to make my presentations, I read more and more about this topic.
Hmm.
For some time now, I have also started blogging, which also helps me to constantly learn new things. And finally, my diploma thesis is on IoT. Um, so this is my route on IoT. And when I joined Twitter too, I I emit uh, Pete, you, Cliff. So maybe you don't know it, but I learn new things every day on Twitter from
Yeah.
you, from Pete. It's an amazing community.
No, I think, and do you know what, Maria-Anastasia, I think it's fair to say we're kind of all in a very similar boat. You know, we're all kind of doing very similar things because, I mean, it's great to hear that you kind of jumped in feet first. You started off very similar way that I did. So many moons ago, I'm a little bit older, so I remember doing my school studies. I did electronics, and I hadn't touched electronics for so many years, and I did the same thing as you. I went out and bought an electronics kit, and I thought, I'm going to start trying to wire things, see if I can remember how to wire things together and make things. And like you say, you kind of wanted to learn it to join that program essentially, and wow, you went straight into competition. So that, look, hands up, I don't think I would have been that brave. But look, that's fantastic. I mean, it's such a, it's an inspiring thing to kind of talk about. I love talking about these kinds of stories because, look, you don't need to be the font of all knowledge. You know, everybody starts from a place where they're learning about something for the first time, and that's true whether you are, you know, in university, coming out of university into college, or if you are like myself, you know, an older person working in the industry. There's always something for us all to learn. So there should be no ego about it. It should be about, look, we're all helping each other learn these cool new tech things, which to be honest is what I love about IoT, because there's so many boards, there are so many different programming languages, ways that you can configure things, and it's just such a fun, interesting place to kind of tinker and play with and learn those new things. So I'm guessing, you know, you have similar experience, and that's what kind of keeps your passion in IoT.
Totally.
It's certainly it's going to be an interesting place to watch, I think, in over the coming years. But I mean, look, Maria-Anastasia, this has been such a hugely, you know, enlightening, fantastic, and fun chat. But look, before we wrap things up, there's always a question that I like to ask the guests, which is really, it's a bit of an open-ended question. So when we look at technology today and what we've got in front of us, where do you think we're going? You know, what's going to be the next big thing in technology from your perspective?
I think that IoT and cloud computing in general, machine learning and AI, these four topics will be in the front line, and I think that we have to watch very huge things that will come, and in robotics and with AI and machine learning, but I think that these 4 or 5 topics will be in the first line of this race. And also I think that with the crypto
blockchain type technologies, yeah.
Blockchain, yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I think this topic too will be it's very hot topic, and it will be more hot over the years. I think these two topics, I think that it will be more hot in the future. I don't know if you have something else in your mind.
No, not at all. I have got a tendency to agree with what you're saying now. I think, you know, certainly it's one of those things. I always like to think, you know, even if it's just from a personal career path, you know, where should I be looking to work, you know, to make sure that I've got the most, you know, interesting job that I can have, the most fun and, you know, rewarding job, I think. But you're right. I think I've got a tendency to agree that I think certainly IoT, AI, machine learning, that they certainly seem to be technology areas that are popping up in every conversation that I seem to be having lately. So I think it's certainly going to be an interesting area over the coming years, isn't it? I think to see how that kind of unfolds and where we all end up. In some instances, probably a little bit scary. Certainly when you bring in robotics and AI, some of the things that we're seeing lately are, make you wonder, I think, you know. I don't know. Is it just me? But I don't know. Maria-Anastasia, I mean, this has been super fun. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Really appreciate you giving up your time and having a chat with me. And, you know, hopefully for those that are watching this, certainly, you know, from the student population, you know, have you got any last passing comments that you want to put out there before we wrap up the show?
I don't know. It was a great time. Sorry, for me too. And I want to thank you too. I have to tell to my fellow students, because I am a student too, that that I want to give them an advice to find what they really love and like to do, to have passion with their job, and to be in communities, to be very I don't have this word.
I know what you mean, though. You be part of that community, isn't it? Just put yourself
Yeah.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid, I guess. Don't be afraid to just join in.
Yeah, and to women, to don't be afraid to join us. We are here for them. Yeah.
Well, Maria-Anastasia, it's a pleasure to be in such a fantastic community with people like yourself. Keep up the fantastic work that you're doing. You're doing some awesome things. You know, I'll be following along, seeing what you're up to, and pinching your ideas, no doubt, and looking at what you're tinkering with in terms of IoT. So keep it up. I mean, you know, some of the work is fantastic, but you know, thanks for everything you're putting back out into the community at the moment. And yeah, you know, good luck with the new job. I'm sure that's going to go absolutely swimmingly. That's going to go really well for you. And yeah, good luck for the next few years of tech. I'll be interested to see which way you go. You know, will you end up in the world of IoT? Let's see where you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words, and for inviting me here tonight.
Oh, anytime, Maria-Anastasia. It's been a pleasure. So, I mean, and good luck with IoT Live as well. So, anyway, for now, we'll wrap it up now. It's been great to chat with you. And yeah, if you are watching this video, you know, we'll put all the links that we discussed. We'll put them all in the description below, so you can all reach out. I'm sure, Maria-Anastasia, you're not going to have a problem with people reaching out to you on Twitter, are you? Mm-hmm. So if you want to get in touch about anything we discussed, then you know, I'm sure Maria-Anastasia's direct messages are open. So, on that note, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much again, and we will undoubtedly catch up on social media fairly soon. Thanks, Maria-Anastasia.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.